Okay, good morning. This is Simon with Trade and Perform Coaching and doing our live trading session and market preview. So let's just go with the chart to begin with. So the mic's good, right, guys? Everyone can hear me okay? Yeah, okay. So first thing on the Trader Assist, I now have the trader that limits it to 4 trades per cycle, meaning when the 100, when it closes over the 100 and 200, the what's turning it on and off will limit it to a maximum of 4 trades per cycle. Okay, it did very well yesterday. It would have made about $2,000. I've got to test it on my own computer, and once I have the test done, I will send it out. Okay, yeah. Later this morning, I'll be talking about a trade I'm adding to the package that I think we should be taking. But the number one thing I want to point out before we come in, right? If you look, a lot of people get panicky when markets roll down. We have Nvidia coming out tonight. I have no idea how Nvidia could possibly miss numbers, um, but maybe they do, right? Who knows? But what I see that's important here is if you go back to October and you see this triple bottom here, 1, 2, 3. So I really think to get a good low, we're going to need to take out that 24,385, right? We just tested into it and it makes sense. But if you go back historically, when you look at a balance area, like here, I'll show you. Okay, like this is September, right? So imagine how bearish people were when you were looking at this. So look at the whole range, right? Like we're coming down pretty dramatically there. Go back to your Twitter stream if you can in September, right? And I would have done this same pointing out thing. I would have gone, look, 1, 2, 3, 4. That has to be taken out, right? And see how they just traded underneath it? And not all of it even, because the bottom is right over here. So we just tapped it just like we did yesterday, right? We didn't actually clear it out. And I would have said the exact same thing, right? I would have said, hey, a good low, a good low would include taking out this these July lows, like actually trading below and then trading back above. But all we did is we just tested the bottom, and it wasn't even, yeah, it was July lows. We just tested the bottom of July low. Maybe we took it out by a tick, but there was no significant test underneath, right? And then I promise you, if you go look after this fall, like look at the size of this fall, 24,100, right, to 23,000. It was 1,000 point drop. Everyone was talking about the end of days, Armageddon, bull market over, everything's done. And then look what goes on over here to the right. Like look at that. Like it just kept. That was it, right? So when you have to be cautious when you get to the lows of the day, going, oh, we're going to zero. Oh, we're going to zero. Look what happened is now, if you look at tested, rallied, came back, but we never took out those lows and you had to take them out, right? And it's not just one example. You know, you can go back to other places in this market and find the exact same thing. Like in all of this, I said you got to take out that swing. Here, I would say you have to take out this swing, and we just haven't accomplished that yet. Now, can it happen? Sure, but everyone's pretty bearish right now, um, and I'm getting a lot of bearish messaging. And if you look, this isn't that much different than that pullback in July. We've gone from 26,400, right, to 24,300. Okay, so one was 1,000 and one's 1,500, but it's up a lot higher than it was in July, and we still haven't taken out this triple bottom from October. Now, in addition, if you look, we have all these prior days lows right underneath that haven't been tested, starting at 24,241 all the way down to 23,969. Really pretty compacted up. If you look back to the left, it's just this series of lows right through here, and you can go all the way down through here and go, okay, well, all this has to be, if it breaks, all this gets to be reauction, but all of those are potential great trap areas to get beautiful long side trades. And I'm going to address the long side trades in just a minute on how you structure it so that it fits all together. But for me right now, I'd rather look and go, okay, are we going down or are we going up? So for right now, the easy answer is we're down a lot. We have not had a multi-day rally to the upside. We're at the very edge of the extended balance period over a 3-month period of time. And yes, I would like us to trade and get below that 24,376 and then trap back in, but there's nothing that says that we have to. So therefore, I'm not worried about it, right? I'm going to assume that sellers are going to get trapped at the bottom. And really what's changed here, okay, and again, I think people should be tapping this off every single day and having it on your computer. Okay, so when you go, I didn't know, I can't tell you any more than this. $ VIX 23.84. Okay, and where we need it to go for the market to settle is under 20. You'll notice when we spike over 20, the volatility gets really, really high. And so therefore, I would like it under 20 and hopefully not under 15. Somewhere in between there seems to be the sweet spot. And that would be nice if we get back to that. But we're at extremes right now, and that's fine. It's profitable. Okay. So what am I looking for today? So first of all, there's three things, and I'm going to duplicate this chart for just one reason. I said it yesterday. I'll say it again today because everyone should have it locked in their brain, including me, and I have not fully done this. Come on, what's going on today with this thing? Okay. First hour point of control from yesterday is, and I can't see it. It's got to be right there. It's got to be right there. And I'm just missing it. Here. Why isn't this showing it? It's bothering the heck out of me. Hide. Hide. Okay. And I still can't see the dang thing. Does anyone have the first hour POC? I know I marked it off. It's got to be right here. It's approximately right there. If someone has it, but it's basically it's right there. Okay, it was somewhere in this little area. I can't see because the algo is covering it over. Here, let me do this. Analysis studies. $25,547. Thank you. It's roughly that. Okay. So now if you look at your chart, 25,548, first of all, look at the extension above. That went from 25,548 to a high by 1 o'clock of 24,801. It is the most important part of this chart. Above it, we tend to rally. Below it, we tend to tank. Guess what? Today, you have to be below 25,548 to go lower from yesterday, plus whatever today's point of control is, right? And if you look at that and you make that your line of delineation, by the way, we're in trend up, if you haven't noticed, from overnight. 25,548. 24,548. 24,548. It is right. 548. I had a different one. And Bill, we need to figure out why we're off on this, but that's all right. But it's roughly there, right? Now, I want you to notice a few things when you look at this, right? Notice that how all your turn bars are freaking acting beautifully through that section. Look, it gets above the bars with the squares, right? here, I'm just going to point them out. Square underneath, square underneath, square underneath, square underneath, square underneath, square underneath. That's probably a stop. That's not a turn bar. And then notice when you get underneath it, you don't get any squares underneath. Then it gets back above. Square above. And if you get any squares on the turn in here, they should work just beautifully. You didn't. But that's basically what we are looking for. Okay? You should get PA like this. You'll notice all your turn bars, all your longs, and then just put the rest of your structure together. Right? Now, here's where people are going to have a little bit of a hard time. Right? And so I'm going to try to address this briefly and then put it all together. Yes, we're under the 200 and above 25.548. That's what makes trading a little bit complicated, okay? So here's how you figure that out. The easy trades are over the 200. We already know that for the most part, except when we're in true balance day, right? The easy trades are going to come. You're going to have the momentum above the 200. But you just have to keep in mind, even if you get bearish, they're going to try to defend that first hour. They're going to try to defend that first hour IB low, even below the 200. So you're going to catch friction there, right? So when you look at the course of this day and what worked, right? If you look, we opened up. Here's 8:30. Here's 9:30, right? Here we are below the 200. We've clearly established, right? If you rejected out of that 200. So I want to redirect people. The 100 is important for measuring when the 100 is between the two, above or below. But that 200, for whatever reason, people are holding on to right now, right? So if you look and you put all the pieces together, how would we figure all of this out? And I know the president was speaking right in here, and that's part of what drove it, but it really doesn't matter. Over the 200, there's your double square up. Here, I'm going to spread this out so you can see it. And this chart is driving me nutty, but that's all right. And I have to open something here real quick. File, open chart book. Just need that. Sorry, guys. Okay. So, let me come over here. And this is going to delay my computer a second. Okay, look. You're above. Green bar up. White bar on the turn. Green bar on the turn. White bar with double square above. On the turn, all of that lifts. The sidewinder, right? Coming above the 100 and the 200. When you have this condition right here where everything's crossing, see that little pinch right there? It's a little flag. I don't know what else you want to call it. That sets you up in the condition to get a big rally. Like this area right here, if you can just look at it and get used to when it's pinging off that 200 and the 100 is coming up to the 200, that's your opportunity from a manual trading standpoint to make the most amount of money. Okay? When you come back over here, when you look early in the day, 8:43, look how the 100 and the 200 are situated. They're close together. So what do you want? You want to test that and you want to see rejection, even if we're not trading it, right? We're now an open drive lower here, right? So you're heading in for support, and then you want to look for two things, right? The first thing that you're looking for when you're in this condition is the white bars down tend to pay you very, very well on the turn, right? That's what you're looking for in this condition. So look at that. If you're going to short, look at your shorts as it comes down with white bar down. You get one. This is 32. One. Oh, there's a stop in here somewhere. Two. That's a stop. Three. Okay. Oh, you know what? Sorry, I messed up. Excuse me. Go back to 9 o'clock. Forgive me. Coming up, white bars down in this condition under the 200. That's what I wanted to count. Let's start that again. Excuse me. Algo fires. Fire one. Fire two. Over the 200, right? Pause. over the 200 now, you pause, right? As long if you're over the 100 and you're taking your white bars, you're okay. You do not want to do it over until we've gotten a big extension up, okay? And then as you look at that, we're underneath now, right? So watch, white 3 bars up. If you're aggressive, because we're at the bottom of the channel here, white bar down, okay? White bar down, okay. This gets stopped, which is fine, that happens. This one pays you. And that was at the very bottom of the channel. I would not have taken it in this consolidation. There's just no way I would have shorted that. Okay. And now we're coming into supported that 24,431, right? You don't want to bet that they're going to break that low over here. You want to stop, right? So you still have to consider what's it going to look like when it turns. And our clue to that over here, there's your white underneath, right? Again, I don't want to bet that it's going to break the low. So what I'm really hoping for is that we get over that 200 there, right? So it changed a little bit. And the reason why it changed a little bit, was because we have more of a bearish sentiment. So they were able to push it down most of the time. But if you're not in the most extreme of sentiments, this bar and these bars over here are going to stop you. Now, here's the important part. The sidewinders come up, purple line. You're over the 100, you're over the 200. You're now looking for a minimum of 2 bars and preferably 3 bars back. And it's generally your first double square in this sequence that's going to launch you to the upside. This is a 32 tick, so it presents a little bit differently than the 24 tick. But these are your trades. 2 bars back, 5 bars back, more than 5 bars back, white bar double square. That series of trades should have gotten you out very profitable for the day. You could have quit at 10:18 and done just fine. As a matter of fact, I can tell you that by that point I shut down the algo. It was up. I was up somewhere around $1,000. I don't remember exactly when I shut it off, but that's where I locked. If I left it running through lunchtime, I would have picked up another $1,000. I didn't. That's all right. I'm not worried about it. $1,000 is a lot of money. So especially when you spread it across multiple accounts or you increase your trade size, that's per 10 micros traded. It's $1,000. It's a lot of money. So that's my 2 cents. That's my 2 cents on that. I'm trying to think of what else. Oh, and then once we're up in this condition, right? Look at all the bars with the squares on them. Like if I had to draw my attention to anything, it'd be those bars with the squares, preferably double squares, but they all lifted up here. Enough to get you out. Now, the other thing you want to pay attention to is you want to watch, if we're starting to get extensions, those last extensions are at 30 and 40. Watch the rotation come in, which is why it's important you watch the VIX. The VIX under 20, we have to switch back to a 24 tick chart. I want to say that again. VIX under 20, we have to switch back to a 24 tick chart. The 32 is going to get fewer opportunities, and those opportunities, if we lose the range, will not get those scales. Okay, so for right now, 32. Moving forward, which I assume the VIX will drop eventually, 24. Okay, I don't have much else to add because I think everyone traded pretty well yesterday. $300 to $500 a day gets most of y'all a lot of money over the course of 6 months to a year, right? So the goal is to shoot towards 1,000. The goal is to shoot towards $500 to $1,000. But what you want to average out is $300 to $500. You're going to have some down days in there. They're inevitable. Okay. So take your best algos, right? So now I want to talk about what I'm going to introduce to the room. So if that confuses you before we start, just mute for about 5 minutes and you can come back in. I don't want to confuse anyone before the day starts. Okay. And I'm going to go to the 24 tick for this. If you will look at the algo, it's this one. If you will go through on the turn and you see the bars with the stars on it, those red stars. Okay, so I'm going to point them out to you in both directions. I'm just going to pick a side where we're going both up and down. Okay. The star I'm referencing, I'm going to make it big so everyone can see it, is this bright red star right here. Okay, what that is telling you is that the volume is exceeding prior bars volumes without giving away the algo by a significant percentage, enough for us to tag it. Okay, enough for us to tag it. So two things. First of all, if you get a bar with a star and a square, see that? Bar and a square, they tend to get very large extensions. Okay, do they always? No. Do you still have to get the right direction? You do, because that one stopped, right? But if you'll look, the star by itself tends to do very well. It doesn't always work, right? If you'll see here, but if you'll start limiting your trades to the bars with the stars, and I'm going to figure out a way, I have the algo done, I just have to figure out how I want it to present, okay? Meaning which ones I want it to take and which ones I don't. Right now, I want to take it when I have a star and a square, right? Why do I say that? Why not just the star by itself? I can point out plenty of examples that work by the star by itself. Easy. I do not want to give you an algo that gives you a trade every 2 seconds, right? That doesn't do any good, and it sets people off on tilt. Okay, so if you look for the bar, let's say you were going to short here, right? Of these choices, you'll notice the bar with the star, the bar with the square and the star does very, very well. So I limit your choice. I've figured out after doing this for a while that there's two problems with the algos. Okay, and neither problem has anything to do with whether they work or don't work. There's a distinction between what the algo can accomplish on its own and what the algo needs to do manually. Okay, I'm going to say that again. There's a difference between what the algo needs to do on its own and executing the algo manually. If I give you too many potential trades, what tends to happen is you go on tilt and they tend to throw away the whole trade. So it's very easy, right? Even if you're doing it off the bottom, which I don't recommend, just use it the way we use it now. Use the dividing line as the 200, right? If you look for the bars with the stars and the double squares, particularly at the turn and particularly after 3 bars up, you will tend to get bigger extensions. The stars by themselves do work. You're going to have to make sure you don't go on tilt, right? For example, let me show you something. Let's say you thought the market was going to reverse over here, right? What I don't want to get you into doing is going long here and then trying to figure out where you're going to get your extension, right? This one works, this one kind of sort of works, and there'll be one in here somewhere that doesn't work at all. It just stops you, right? So when you're trading with the momentum and you look for the bar with the square, right? Well, that's not with the momentum, but one of them in here will be somewhere. It just limits the number of trades you end up getting. So when you're over here, and you take that bar, it's good on the first or second bar, right? Blue with the square, and you go and you go, oh, Simon says that extends. Well, that goes from 25, basically 25,520 to 25,570. That's $1,000 a contract, right? Now, there inevitably will be some traders that are better than others in this room. Okay, and by the way, I want to thank both Bill, Sean, and Nate helped contribute to really highlighting this idea to me, right? There'll be some trades that show up without that star, and you'll be like, well, why isn't the star there, right? Why am I not getting the star? Which will be other trades. You have to sort through that. Everyone has that star on there already. There's no secret. There's nothing to redistribute. The star is always there. All I can tell you is when I get that star, and if I'm in a place where I think I should go long, I am probably manually taking the star, but I am probably having the algo require a 2 square requirement on the turn or the second bar up for the trade, and the dividing line for right now is the 200 as to whether or not I'm going to take it. Again, I don't need a million trades, right? So it's going to be double square. So if you look here, it's going to take this one, not this, not this, not this. This bar right here, again, you'll notice that's at 1054. That runs from approximately 24,632 to 24,685, 50 points. It's a lot of money. That's 2 $1,000 trades on 10 micros, right? Assuming no scales, etc., and you know how I just blur the lines. You have to integrate it into what you're doing, right? That is what I am looking for. Again, underneath the 100 and 200, double square star, you'll see that never got stopped out. It rolls for another 50. So I'll be hunting that. There's different sets of stars now, so I'm going to have to put out a clarification for it. But that's the only change I'm making is I'm looking for the stars. And if I'm looking for a turn, if I am looking for a turn, even without it, I'm going, okay, we should turn or come out of support in this area, right? What I'm going to say is, I'm looking for the star up, guys. Like, so if I get all of this in here, right? If you look this morning, where would you trade, Simon? What would you take, right? Well, if I'm going to trade, and let's say I'm looking for it to come off the 200, I'm at minimum now looking for a star. Why? It's working right now, right? I get paid here, I get stopped here, and I don't get it on the short over here. That's all fine. I will get enough of it. This is on the 24 tick. I'm not looking on the 32 tick, right? So if I'm over here, right, and I'm looking for the long, see how I'm over the 200 over there? And I'm trying to discern, and I can't get the trade I want. I want the star on the first or second bar. That's all I'm changing. That was the middle of the night, right? That means I left a lot of trades off the table. This would have been my next trade right there. If I'm good with just one bar down, it would have been that, but I'm not. I need at least 2 bars down, right? It would have been that trade right there for the long. And I've got to keep in mind when I'm running up into resistance and when I'm not running up into resistance, right? I need to close this chart. Okay, that's how I'm using it right now. I have not figured out exactly the combinations I want for the algo, but we're very, very close. So to update you, we have the trade sequenced. I need to test it today. I was too tired to do it last night, and I will distribute it. It'll limit it to 4 trades per cycle, and I will put out a video explaining what the cycle is. But we are testing it today. I'm running it on another computer. I would strongly suggest once you get your 4 trades, if you're up $1,000, don't worry about the $2,000. If you're up $600, don't worry about the $1,000. Build your account so that you can make a lot of money. That's my strongest suggestion. Build your account so you can have a strong base, withdraw money. It is boring, right? But you need to build your account and you need to do it consistently, day in, day out. Decide what trade. I'll be hunting these stars today, the red stars specifically, on my trading. I will not be trading them in the first half hour because it's going to be, again, Lunaticville, I think, right? You can see how we're opening up. Let's see where we are right now. There you go. We're underneath the 200, underneath the 100, and they're trying to press for a negative move. I'm fine with them trying to press for a negative move. I don't care. And I don't have much else to say. We have no econ. Fed's Mirren speaks at 9 o'clock. Crude oil at 9:30. Trump speaks at 11. Barkin at 11:45. 20-year auction at 12. Fed meeting. Fed minutes at 1. Williams at 1. And then Nvidia is pretty much all that matters after the close. Okay, so whatever they're gonna do, man, God bless them. I don't have any idea what they are going to do, but I'll just trade my process is all I'm going to do. Any questions? 32 tick today. That's what you should be on. 32 tick. Why do I not have? I did not want this. File. Close chart book. File. That's what I want. Oh, my computer didn't like that. 4, 6, 24. 1 second, sweetheart. 24. 24. 24. Why is this not on 32? Okay, I'll just fix it. Chart settings. 3. And okay. Launch. Okay. Got it. Okay, give me just 1 second, guys. I'll be right back. Y'all can hear my mic, right? I kind of sort of figured that we're going to have a hard time with that short. When Bitcoin got walloped, whoever sucked that, they got sucked in with that 120. Well, that's so normal on that. 24, 32. And the Nasdaq's up 83. Remember, it is Fed day. They tend to get choppy, right? So just stay focused on what the objective is. ES up 15. That was either the closing POC or the prior day's first hour POC. Either way, that's what that is. Man, it's fast. Very, very fast on the moves, guys. Just FYI. Over the 100 and the 200, and that's bullish territory for me. There's resistance up above. That's your target. So, I don't know what they're selling, but it doesn't look a lot down to me. So we are in the profile. We're inside prior day's value area, so that goes all the way up to 24,775. They're working that 24,675. You can see how they're clustering around it. All right, that 61 holds. That thing will roll. See that right there? Right here? Here, I'll point to it. Star on that turn. On the 24, star on the second bar up. I'm telling you, that launches pretty big moves. I gotta be clear, I'm not bearish. I'm not bullish either, but I'm not bearish. And And I'm certainly more bullish over that 200 and 100 than I am anywhere close to bearish. It's a really great dividing line. It helps us figure out which side we're likely to go on, so you're not sitting there fighting the daylights out of that thing. And it's the red star specifically that I think moves it. Again, I'm going to point out where it showed up was right there at 840, right? Right, 24,675. It's gone 675, 678 to 2517, 50-point rotation. Okay. Thank you. I haven't distributed them yet, Sean. I'm just paper trading them today, but I will. Thank you. And we tagged right up into resistance. We're still 20 minutes away. So what I'm going to do, so the market's behaving well. We're an open drive higher, within range. Open drive higher, within range. You got to clear the high from the prior day. And you need and our friendly VIX is sitting at 23.83, unchanged. Okay, so let's see if Yahoo Finance has the same rating, 23.83. So there we go. I'm gonna go get myself a cup of coffee. Into unfair pricing from yesterday, but the up does not surprise me at all. Nvidia's up. This should be up. No, not much, 34 cents, but still. Just too many people short at the bottom of the range. So I'll be right back. I'm going to get a cup of coffee and we'll continue. We are in a trend day up protocol right now. It'll probably get looser in the afternoon, just FYI. But let's look at the process. Over the 100 and 200 on both the 24 and the 32. Lack of counter rotation. Okay. And your signals were, because you can learn from this later, on the 32, star up on the second bar. Okay. Star up here. And when the market is strong, I believe you can use the second bar as a star with a 25-point stop on the 32 and be just fine. Okay. And then you got star up here after 3 bars down, extend it again. On the 24 tick, you got star up coming off that point of control, star up on the second bar, and nothing. They're just squeezing the daylights. You can see, look at the volume coming in here. They're just squeezing these shorts coming off the high they have to cover, right? So you do not want to stand in front of this. I tell you, there's just too many people short at the bottom of balance, right? So here's the open gap. That's from a retail perspective, is that end period right there at 24,888 and a quarter. We're probably going there, right? Here's prior day's high. And there's a low volume node at 08,949. There's another 100 points in it, right? So just keep that in mind. I don't see CBOE backing down yet. It should soon. The most important thing is you not get frustrated, right? We go through cycles, and you knew we had a long coming off that low somewhere. Like that's what I was pointing out this morning. You don't want to be bearish into a triple bottom. It's very hard to get a bearish break. It is just freaking hard. I don't really see a volume explosion down here yet on the 1. And I can totally wait for my setup to come. NQ, ES, NQ up 240, ES at 41. Anyone have any questions so far this morning, guys? We doing all right? That's why location alone is not enough to take a trade. Good job, Brian. I'm turning on mine on at 9:03. Yeah, my wife made some strong coffee this morning. Holy moly. And 24,888. We're 30 points away. I'm going to guess they're going to tag that right at 9 o'clock. Here comes that 888. They're just going to forget it. Just cover me, cover me. Oh, I feel for them. I've been there. Wow. Wow. What a crushing. Up 300 for the Bears. What did this dude say? I forgot the Fed speaker came up right then, too. I would turn off the longs now, guys, and I am. I'm turning off the trader assist. I don't want longs. Already up 300. That's the move I want. I would have wanted to capture on a grind. It just went straight. I've already missed the move. So the only thing that's going to happen here is we're going to start going sideways. It's too far, too fast. So I want to make sure everyone hears me. You do not want to keep taking longs up here. You don't. They made the move. Up 331. I don't expect much more than that. So it's off. I'll come back and look at it later today if it goes into balance. But I want this to get worked off first. Okay. We filled in that hole up there. There's the star up on that 24 tick. I don't understand why I'm not getting it here. I will figure it out. It's printing here, it's not printing here. At least not in the same way, so I gotta go figure out what that is. So I will fix this by doing this. That's so interesting. Okay. New high on the deck. And into prior days, unfair. Man, what a rocket ship, huh? That's a bummer. What does that put us up on the day? 400? Guys, this day is kind of pretty much over. I mean, we're up 400. I need like a gigantic pullback to want to be interested in this. You can scalp it if you want, I suppose. It's all to the upside. But discipline determines that you just go, okay, it didn't work out today for us. I mean, it just opened and went. That's it. What else can you do? It's open, drive higher, trend day up. Like, there's not much to say about it. Look at it. Like, they're just shorts are just, the algos are just all over it long. True. There's your star down on the red. So I'm just going to focus on that algo for today and fine tune it since I think we're just gone too far too fast for everything else. Also, VIX should be coming in significantly. Down to 22.29. Red star again. I'm going to keep pointing them out because that's what I'm hunting. Your point of control for the first hour is almost certainly set at right here. High probability we come right off that if we hit it. Okay, so I'm going to make it white and really big. It's the most important point on this chart. That's what they need under for bears, and bulls will want to hold over it. 24,901. I'll check if it shifts again later, but yeah. Again, square star. It's a really good algo. And the algo did fire off there if you left yours on. It did fire off on that, by the way, to the long side. I gotta tell you, I've got 7 people, 7 that are very, very bearish. 7, not in this room, just 7 people who for one reason or another, I've coached them at one point or another, and they are very, very, very bearish. And yeah, that's all I got to say about that. Very bearish. And particularly on Nvidia, like these guys. I have one guy who I'm a friend with here in Dallas, and he is short $3 million in Nvidia Common, and he's hedged off with some 2010 calls, 210 calls. I think it's insane trade. I think he's just wrong, and he was short early on top of that. He was short like going into the beginning of earnings season, so he got smoked all the way from 175, maybe more than that. I just think it's insane. The other guy's been killing it. It's Daniel in Austin, but he's been swinging. He's been trading the out of the money calls and puts, and he knows how to swing those. He's been killing it, and so he's loaded risk free to the downside on the puts. So if it goes to zero, he doesn't get hurt. But this other guy is just freaking nuts. And then everyone else is just kind of like, it's going lower. And I'm like, okay, well, you're at a triple bottom. Good luck. Break the triple bottom. Call me up then. So this distribution's been pretty common the last couple of weeks, and we usually get a long liquidity break, but that long liquidity break has to come underneath 24,901 for me, right? Otherwise, they just end up, yeah, grinding it. So you know they're going to try and press for this IB high stat. But see, okay, so you can learn something from this. See how they're pushing on the stars? One, two, three, and they got almost no extension. So watch, I had a hard time with this. Bill's been pretty observant of it. See all these stars, no traction, down, right? But all the stars up are getting traction. See, does everyone see that? Okay. See when they start going up and you get no traction off of them? See how they're springing really hard and all of a sudden the down stars are getting follow through. See that? Before they're getting none. It tells you that the distribution of the volume has changed. Okay. And so that's important. Okay. It's because it tells you just really subtly that there's been a change in character in the way that people are responding to volume that's coming in. Okay. So just FYI. back down to the 100. They pressed really hard on for the break over here. So somewhere between, looks like we're caught between that 40, which is that consolidation, right? So potential long liquidation break out of there. VWAP's down at 24,803. The 100 is at 8088. 24,901 is the first hour point of control. And there's your star to the upside. Again, you got to decide which way you want to take those to the long side. I think we're just so extended, right? Yeah, and it gets really choppy. Chop, 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 chop. Star white bar down off the third rail, not fourth rail quite. Again, we're above the 100 and we're above the 200. I really think they're going to try and make a break for this 24,901 unless that shifted and I missed it. Nope, it's right there. And I'm telling you that usually is the dividing line. Telling you, see these little chop rotations? They kill this trader. Okay, we're just too far. There's no upside left for this thing without some kind of news from President Trump or something to that effect. Okay. We're back into this low volume node right here to the left. Do you see where my pointer is? Filling in. Car stuffed. Not as good as star in direction of. Coming back to test that 05. And then you have the 24,874 underneath it. And then we have VWAP all the way down here at 804. See the volume dropping off hard for the first time in a long time. Star up, white bar with double square. That's usually very good. Okay, so that will be turned into an algo, guys. The stars, and I'll let y'all choose which one you want. Just the stars or the stars and the algo. It'll have to be actively managed on your scales. Okay, we already have all the pieces in place. I just got to test it and make sure that it's firing correctly. Yeah, I agree, Ed. Wait, at 918? I think, oh, got it. Okay. Thank you, sir. And down we roll some more. This is why it has to be actively managed. You get on the wrong side of the coin, it's just going to lift and scalp, lift and scalp, lift and scalp until you get it to turn. Coming into the 200, please be mindful of where your 382 and 5060 retraces are. This is the open print. Wow. Is freaking all the way down here. in Ridiculousville. Because it's fun to throw more lines up there. I think that's the low. There. So that's the 382 is all the way down at 28,432. The 50 is down here around 24,780, so on and so forth. You can just block it off so you know where it is for now. It's roughly like this. That's your 50, 60, 382 retrace. We've also broken the swings, lower lows, lower highs, etc., etc. And the Sidewinder's gone through the 100, but not the 200. I just have to have this on two charts because it's just too much data otherwise. Thank you. Thank you, Randy. I'm just telling you that up 400 is going to screw up a lot of things for a lot of people because it just makes it hard to trade through. That's all there is to it. 100 coming through the 200, below the 100, that's your warning sign already. And we're obviously rolling right back down towards that 50-60 below the 200. And that should not be a shock to anybody. White bar, green bar, down, double square, below the 200. All right, so remember your most momentum's when we're above the 100 and above the 200. We're below the 100 and below the 200. We're heading right for that 382 retrace, prior day's high, etc., etc. And this should not bother or be bothering anybody, right? This should not be bothering anyone, right? When they move at 400, we just kind of have to go, oh, well, they moved at 400 out of the gate. They got the shorts. Another white green down in a row, pressing down. into the prior day's high. Bar up, orange bar, that should lift. Is there someone speaking right now that we're just not aware of? I'm going to look. Wow, what a just falling apart of the market. That's bullshit right there. Holy cow. What a terrible, terrible thing that's going on when they do that to people. Wow, that's horrible. That is horrible. Holy cow. You're going to run it up and then run it down 200. Get yourselves together. How y'all going to do that to people? That is just awful. I'm sorry. Awful. I don't know what was said or what happened, but that is not cool. It just racks people up. We're below the 100 and 200. You're looking for a short. Assuming they don't keep dropping this thing, which they are right now. Does anyone have news? This is acting like there's news out, not just going down. I mean, it's just getting hit hard. I don't understand. That sucks. Look at that. Straight through, straight through. I am pissed. That sucks all the way around. Can you take it all the way back to the low? I told you, when they do that 400 points up thing, just forget about it. Look at that. No, I'm with you on it. That's what I'm saying. It's just ridiculous. Look at that. It's just ridiculous. Shit. That sucks. Untradeable, the sequel is right, Ed. Yeah, but it's still. I'm with you guys. I'm not upset like that. I'm just saying this is stupid. It kills traders. It wipes out people's accounts. It's just blah. But someone said something there. That's not just normal trading. I'm sorry. It just isn't. I'm all right with it. Let me be clear. It is frustrating when you can't see where the order flow is coming from. That is frustrating. Okay? To me, it is. Doesn't have to be to you. Just to me, it is. Yeah, I agree with that. But it doesn't matter. It does get choppy on the same day, nonetheless. All I'm saying is that really sucks. That's all. To get that kind of PA straight up, straight down, I'm not arguing with you, with anybody about it's okay. That just blows. I knew that consolidation would lead to a liquidation break, and we got underneath the 24,901. I knew it had to hold, and that was the release right there. I just didn't imagine in my mind that they were going to give that whole thing back, right? You would have thought, oh, we'll do one good up day. You'll have some structure, but nope, no structure. The order flow is completely screwed up here if you can't tell. And I mean completely screwed up. See how they're pressing down now and not getting any traction? It tells you that they've gotten stuffed. See that? Down, traction, nothing. They're going to lift up out of that. I think NVIDIA covers it way more than the Fed does today. Is just my random, I don't know what I'm talking about, thought process. What I do know for sure is we're under the 100, under the 200, and under the first hour point of control. So, yeah. And the market got kind of whippy and wicky there. And I don't know what happened to make that happen, but it did. Now, what in the world is going on? I'm about ready to leave. This is horrid. Look at the 5-minute bars. Look at this. This is just horrible. The whip party. Just awful. Awful, awful, guys. I do not know what's going on or why we're trading like this, but sellers have completely taken over control, and all I can say is caution. This is bullshit price action. It is not two ways. It is straight down now. It's just the opposite. Saudi investment, Goldman Sachs CEO. I'm not surprised there's a little volatility in the market. Whatever it is bullshit. Guys, heads up. Okay, I'm telling you, this is as dangerous as it gets. It's as dangerous as it gets. There's inconsistent market price action order flow. And it has to do with the VIX being so high, but this is really bad. Okay? It's all I can tell you. horrible. I haven't seen it. That Saudi conference thing just started, by the way. So you're going to have the president speaking about his multi-billion dollars that he's pumping into the economy yet again. Okay, and right now it looks like the what's his face from Nvidia is speaking. By the way, it's on YouTube and it's an open panel thing. So it's Elon Musk and Nvidia chairman speaking live. Is all I can tell you. If you want to watch it, I think those two guys are pretty interesting actually. But that's probably why we've gone on hold. Just FYI. And I'm going to mute out and watch those guys. And guys on YouTube, I've got nothing to add. We did what we were supposed to do this morning. We managed risk, right? And I think that was the right thing to do. But my gosh, what a morning. That's all I can say.